Hey guys, Jugglebot here again. Doing a tutorial on camera lens blur. Like you may have seen that in cinematics with like 3D text and stuff, it sort of like zooms in and sort of blurs in and then blurs out. Looks really nice. It is a bit subtle, but it's really nice. Anyway, so I've made my cinematic. And it's got like it's just rotating in. If you guys want a tutorial on like this stuff happening and stuff, I'll be happy to make one. Just leave a comment in the box below. Anyway, so pretty much that is my cinematic, but it looks a bit boring at the moment. So what you could do is you could like zoom in, like it looks like it's zooming in. So pretty much I want to start zooming in at about there, or about there. So what I'll do is select my clip, hit S on the keyboard, and then click the scale to 100 right there. Then go forward about a second, or not even a second for me. That should be enough right there. And so to scale it in, so about 120. So pretty much what it did was it was at 100 for all this time, and then it slowly, or in 1 second, it sort of zoomed in, and yeah, that's what happened. So I sort of zoomed in, and now it just stays at 120, so it's now zoomed in. So yeah, that looks okay, but you want to make it look a lot more realistic, because cameras don't just zoom in without like having some blur and stuff. So now you want to go into your effects and presets and type in camera or lens. It's called lens blur in CS4, maybe called camera blur, I'm not sure, but for me it's called lens blur. And the default settings for this are 15 and all this stuff. So first what you want to do is change the iris shape to triangle. That's what I like personally. And I'll bring down this resolution because it's a lot easier to work in quarter, because you can do everything a lot quicker. Okay, and then I want to change the iris radius to 12. That's fine for me, right? Okay, so you don't want this to be blurred the whole time though. So you want it to be at 0 when nothing is happening. So put the iris radius to 0 when the scale is 100. So when the scale is like static, leave the radius to 0, but then as it zooms in, you want the blur to increase. So then just after it's fully zoomed in, so my keyframe is right there, and just after that, mine's roughly about 20 keyframes or something. Later after that, you want to change the iris radius to 12, right? So now it's made another keyframe there for 12, and then you just want to leave it at 12 for a fair bit. I'll just put it up to full res, and this is what 12, when it's at blurred at 12, this is what it looks like. And then you can leave it at 12 for about a second or so, and you can bring up all your keyframes by hitting U on the keyboard. So you can leave it at 12, so you can put down another keyframe there, so leave it at 12 again, and then after about half a second or 45 keyframes or whatever, bring it back down to 0. So pretty much in summary, the scale was at 100 for quite a while, and then it zoomed in to 120 after about for 1 second roughly, and then I created a keyframe for the iris radius of 0 when the scale was static, and then just after the scale, when the video had finished zooming in, there was I changed the iris radius to 12. Then you can leave the iris radius to 12 for about a second again, and then you can get it to slowly stop being blurry, and it's at like normal quality. And yeah, that's realistic lens blur zooming, and yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Leave a like, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers guys, Jugglebot.